Friends, all of us are associated with the free movement of capital, labor, goods and services across the world. However, these items of economic development cannot be considered in isolation from other aspects such as free exchange of ideas and practices. The benefits of increasing foreign investment in any particular sector should be considered not only in terms of capital flows and wealth creation, but also in terms of technology transfer and the infusion of know-how. From this perspective, the legal systems in various countries have a lot to learn from each other, both in terms of institutional design as well as the evolution of laws. However, there have also been some arguments made against the free exchange of ideas and practices between legal systems of different countries. I would like to say a few words about the linkages between increasing globalization and the law. One approach for examining these linkages is to survey the legal challenges thrown up by the changing socio-economic conditions. With increasing trade and investment across borders, it is important for all nations to invest sufficiently in the process of rule making and dispute resolution. At the same time, we have to offer a balanced response to the outcome through our domestic legal systems. The reverse linkage is, of course, the impact of globalization on our respective legal systems. In the age of the internet and frequent international travel, the judges, lawyers, and even law students from different countries have a lot of opportunities to interact and learn from each other. In particular, I would like to comment on the growing importance of fields such as comparative constitutional law. In this regard, there has been considerable research on the dispute resolution and functions of the World Trade Organization as well as on the role of institutions which facilitate dispute resolution in the event of commercial disputes between private parties located in different parts of the world. It is also a fact that some attention has been given to settlement of investment disputes between foreign investors and host governments. Therefore, the international trade law and investment law have become quite important in legal exchanges. However, the collapse of several financial institutions in recent times highlights the need for paying attention to strengthening our domestic legal and regulatory systems before shifting the focus to negotiations and rule making. In India, the retention of government controls over the banking sector has reduced the results of recession, but many export-oriented companies have faced some difficulties. In India, there is a need to adopt a realistic approach towards international trade and investment. There is no doubt that the progressive lowering of restrictions on foreign investment and private enterprise has led to the expansion of several sectors such as banking, telecommunications, information technology, media and infrastructure, among others. The inflow of foreign capital and firms in these sectors has no doubt created many jobs and increased the choices available to consumers. The expansion of these sectors has also created regulatory gaps which have been addressed through the creation of independent regulatory agencies. The task of these regulatory agencies is to assist in the formation of policies and devise rules to ensure a fair balance between the interests of service providers, consumers and the government. Several specialized courts have also been set up for these sectors to decide disputes relating to these areas. However, there is no correlation between the growth of foreign trade and investment on one hand and the indicators of social welfare on the other hand. many economists have felt that the financial sector reforms have only benefited the elite sections of the society. Some have argued that the forces of economic globalization have actually widened the existing socio-economic inequalities. As a result, we have seen the increasing migration between the rural areas and the urban centers. There has been increase in population to cities from rural areas in the country on account of the expansion of the services sector, which created both well-paid jobs for qualified professionals as well as low-end jobs in the informal sector. Millions of people leave their homes each year with the hope for better employment opportunities. Instead, many of them end up living in even worse conditions in the cities where the infrastructure has not kept pace with the rise in population. Our failure to provide quality education and health care to large parts of our population further deepened the socio-economic inequalities in our society. There is a wide gap between the opportunities available to those who can speak English and operate computers and the rest of our people. On account of complex social realities, it becomes very difficult to measure the benefits of foreign trade and investment. Therefore, it is the responsibility of the government to devise measures for ensuring an equitable distribution of the money. It is the concern for our agricultural exports in foreign markets which has prompted India's stand against the export subsidies given to farmers in some Western countries. There is no opposition to the reduction of tariffs which will enable more foreign companies to trade in India. However, Western governments should also come forward and remove the unfair advantages given to their respective agricultural sectors. If the same is done, Indian farmers will be able to improve their earnings from exports, and the same will translate into economic development in rural areas of our country.